Sometimes the cracks appear before the foundation actually breaks. Welcome back to Bears News Fan Report, your home for everything Chicago Bears, where I bring you the latest updates, insider analysis, and the hard conversations we need to have about our beloved team. Today, I need to talk to you about something that's been building under the surface, something that became impossible to ignore after what we all witnessed on that sideline in Week 14. And I'm going to tell you why the decisions made in the coming months could completely reshape of this franchise might shock. Stay with me, because what I'm about to break down involves our star receiver, our franchise quarterback, and a philosophical shift that's already in motion. Soldier Field has seen its share of drama over the decade, but there's a difference between typical game day frustration and the kind of body language that sends a message louder than words ever could. DJ Moore, helmet off, standing on that sideline, a look told the entire story. We all saw it. The 4th and 1 play inside the Reds, final seconds ticking away. Caleb Williams forcing a throw into the end zone that gets picked off, and our WR1 visibly disgusted what just happened. That image, that moment, it crystallized something that's been brewing throughout this entire season. Now, before I go any further, let me give you the context, because this isn't about one play or one game. This is about a pattern, a disconnect, and some very real financial and strategic consideration that the Bears organization is facing right now. Ben Johnson came in as head coach with a clear vision for this offense. He's a run-first guy who loves 12 personnel, 2 tight end sets, establishing the ground game, and controlling the clock. That's not DJ Moore's game. Moore is a dynamic, explosive receiver who thrives on volume, on being the focal point of a passing attack, and he's on pace career lows in both options and receiving yards. After the Packers lost, Johnson addressed the media and spoke directly about. He made it clear that Moore wasn't primary Moore, but here's what really. Johnson admitted he was surprised when he looked at the stat sheet and saw Moore only had 1 reception for -4 yards. He said they had designed more opportunities for DJ than maybe any other player in the offense that day, especially with Rome Odunze out injured. So the question becomes, why did the production not match the intent? Let me give you the numbers. Moore caught just 1 pass against Green Bay for -4 yards. Caleb Williams went 19-35 for 186 yards, 2 touchdowns, and that critical interception. Those aren't numbers that win you games in today's NFL, especially when your top receiver is essentially invisible. And this isn't an isolated incident. Moore's frustration has been visible for weeks now. His usage in this offense matched his talent level. Here's where this gets really interesting from the front office. DJ Moore is set to begin a 4-year contract extension worth $110 million starting in 2026. That's a massive commitment to a receiver who clearly isn't fitting into the offensive philosophy that Johnson wants to implement. And I've been digging into if the Bears trade Moore this offseason, they save $24.5 million against the cap in each of the next 4 years. They take on $4 million in dead cap for the next 3 seasons, but that's manageable. That's the cost of doing business when you're trying to build a championship roster. Now think about what you could do with an extra $24 million in cap space. You could go get an elite pass rusher. You could upgrade the left tackle position with a premium free agent. You could add multiple pieces to shore up the defense. And here's the part that might be hardest to hear, but needs to be said. Rome Odunze has shown in his 2nd year that he has legitimate WR1 potential. The kid can play. He's developing chemistry with Caleb. He fits what Johnson wants to do offensively. If Odunze continues on this trajectory, does DJ Moore become expendable? Not because he's not talented, but because the roster construction and offensive philosophy don't align with paying him that kind of money. ESPN's Bill Barnwell was already predicting a potential Moore trade back at the November deadline. He saw what we're all seeing now. Johnson's offense emphasizes the run game with a 2-headed back attack. The Bears have the personnel to execute that vision, and they could improve the offensive line and running back room at reasonable cost this spring. Meanwhile, the disconnect between Moore and this system just keeps growing. But let's talk about the elephant in the room that nobody wants to address. What does this mean for Caleb Williams, our franchise quarterback, the #1 overall pick, supposed to be the face of this organization for the next decade? If the coaching staff is willing to move on from receiver because because of philosophical difference. What does that say about the confidence in Caleb's ability to elevate the players around? Elite quarterbacks make their receivers. They create opportunities even when the design isn't perfect. Right now, we're seeing a quarterback struggling to get his best weapon involved, even when the game plan specifically calls. I'm not here to trash Caleb. He's a rookie, dealing with a lot. But we need to be honest about what we're watching. The chemistry between him and Moore, whether that's a timing issue, a trust issue, or a fundamental difference in how they see the field, it's affecting games. And if Johnson decides that trading Moore gives him the resources to build the offense he really wants, then we have to ask the harder question. Is Caleb Williams the right quarterback for this system? Or are we going to see another rebuild in a year or two when the fit still isn't right? Here's my take, and I know some of you won't want to hear this. I think the Bears are genuinely considering moving DJ Moore this off. The financial incentive is too strong to ignore. The philosophical misalignment is too obvious. And the emergence of Rome Odunze gives them cover to make the move without completely gutting the receiver room. But I also think this decision will tell us everything we need to know about how the organization views Caleb Williams' development. If they believe Caleb can different weapon, a run-heavy system, they'll make them. If they think Caleb needs elite receiving talent to maximize his potential, they'll keep Moore and figure out how to make it work. The optimist in me wants to believe there's a path forward where everyone stays, figures it out, where Johnson adjusts the offense to better utilize Moore's skills, where Caleb and DJ develop the chemistry that makes both of them better, where Rome Odunze becomes the perfect complement to an elite WR1. But the realist in me looks at the cap numbers, looks at the body language, looks at the production, and sees a situation that's heading toward a breaking point. And here's what really keeps me up at night. What if they're both gone within years? What if Moore gets traded this season, and then after another season of inconsistent, the Bears decide to move on from Caleb too? I'm not saying that's going to happen, but we've seen this franchise make decision rather than moving us forward. I want to believe Johnson is the guy who finally gets it, what history makes. So where does that leave us heading into this critical offseason? The Bears have decisions to make that will define the next era of this franchise. Do they commit to the run-heavy, tight-end-focused offense that Johnson wants? Do they trade their highest-paid receiver to free up cap space for other positions? Do they give Caleb Williams another year with new weapons and see if he takes the leap? Or do they look at what's happening and decide they need to make even bigger changes? I genuinely don't know the answer, but I know this. The tension we saw on that sideline in Week 14 wasn't just about one play. It was a symptom of deeper issues that the organization is going to have to confront head-on, and how they handle these next few months will tell us everything about their vision for the future. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you think the Bears should trade DJ Moore this? Are you confident in Caleb Williams as the long-term answer at quarterback? What would you do if you were making these decisions? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because this is the conversation we need to be having right now as a fan. If you want to stay ahead of every development with the Chicago Bears, if you want analysis that goes deeper than the surface takes, and make sure you're subscribed to Bears News Fan Report and hit that notification. I'm here every day breaking down the moves, strategy, and the decisions that impact a team. This is where Bears fans come for the real talk. Bear down.